Bang me manasi pratishthitam, mano me vachi pratishthitam, abirabir mayedhi, vedas samanistaham, shrutam me ma prahasiran enoditena, auratram samdadhami, ritam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, tan mama bhatu, tad bhaktaram abhatu, abhatu mam, abhatu bhaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May my speech be one with my mind, and may my mind be one with my speech. O thou self-luminous Brahman, remove the veil of ignorance from before me, so that I may behold thy light. Do thou reveal to me the truth of the scriptures. May the spirit of the scriptures be ever present to me. May I seek day and night to realize what I learned from the sages. May I speak the truth of Brahman. May I speak the truth. May it protect me. May it protect my teacher. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. Peace mantra from the Rig Veda. George, is it okay? Okay. This morning our subject is Stories of the Vedanta Monks, Part 44. It is a series of talk based on the second generation monks of the Ramakrishna order. Sri Ramakrishna is the source, his direct disciples are the first generation, then second generation, we are the third generation. So second generation were trained by the disciples of Ramakrishna. They have not seen Ramakrishna. So what they heard, what they learned, that they communicated to the next generation, that we are talking about. Swami Vivekananda said to his disciple, when you are born in this world, leave a mark on this world that you came. Otherwise, as the Upanishad says, Shaishyamiva martya pachyate shaishyamiva jayate punaha. Human beings are born like mushroom, like corn, and they die like corn and mushroom. They come and go, season after season. Amazing. You see the cornfield this year, the farmer will save some seed and he will put in the next year. In this way the corns die and they are born. Corns are harvested and again they will be replanted. So human beings are like this, coming and going in this world. Very few people's name we find in the pages of history. Very few people. Perhaps you are a very successful doctor, engineer, or whatever you may be. You earn money, have family, then you go. Nobody knows you. If you have plenty of money, if you give charity or donation, some people may say, oh, he was a good man. That's all. But Swamiji says, they only live who live for others. Swami Vivekananda passed away in 1902. Still he is carried by millions of people in their hearts. It is true. That Swamiji said, when you are born, keep a mark in this world that you came. And that comes from your life, your unselfishness, your charity, your something remarkable thing you have done for the humanity. Not only for yourself or only your family. They go in the pages of history. Very interesting. In the boat of the history, only few passengers can get in. Rich people, money, they cannot get in there. With that great souls, great people, those who loved and served humanity, their names will go there. Today I shall talk to you about a legendary monk, Swami Madhavananda, who became a role model of the Ramakrishna order. I had an opportunity to come in contact with him from 1960 to 1965. He was then General Secretary, then became Vice President. You see, I see monastic life is just like a flying bird. A bird flies with two wings and the tail. One wing is renunciation, another wing is the purity. That is the way a monk rises. As we have seen, an aeroplane rises from the airport, from the runway. Two wings are necessary so that plane will go. And the tail. Tail is passionate love for God. That is the way a soul rises toward God. That is the way I imagine. Very interesting. I remember in 1970s a book came out, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. I read that book. I think later on it came as a movie. These seagulls you have seen, I see in Laguna Beach. They cannot fly long distance. They fly near this seashore and picks up some fish and then fly, and again sometimes they sit on the water, sometimes they sit on the land. Wherever there is food, they sit very short distance. So one bird was thinking, it's just a very boring life, disgusting. We cannot fly high. I shall try. So he started to fly up. This book is really as a Vedantic concept. Fly to the infinite. That was the goal of that seagull. Flying, higher, higher, higher. Then he came back and asked other fellow beings, why are you leading this boring life? Come, let us fly to the infinite. Higher, higher, higher. You will enjoy life. Some did not like his attitude. Well, no, we are happy with this little fish in the seashore and this and that. Oh, why should you go up? That is the average human beings in this world. We there live near the seashore, eating a little fish and little enjoyment, that's all. They do not know, they do not want to fly the high. Near enough prabrita jalpya, most people are happy with their sense objects in this world. They do not like to fly high. Those who want to fly high, they are the spiritual seekers. those who take initiation, those who try to practice a spiritual life, they try to fly high. Him, the recorder of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, used to tell about monks, but they are like a stormy petrel. Stormy petrel, P-E-T-R-E-L. It is a kind of pigeons, birds. They live in the cleft of the mountains near the seashore. When the storm starts, they leave their nest and they fly against the wind. Their wings are upside down, this and that, but they love to face that gusty wind. That is the way they enjoy life. I must fight against Maya. That Aim used to tell the monks. They are flying and teaching us, he was a householder, they are teaching us how to fly, how to go against the current of Maya, how to fight against the odds, difficulties of life. Very beautifully he used to explain the stormy petrel. Human life means struggle. 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 The more struggle you are, the more strong you will be. A big tree catches more wind than the small tree. And the more it catches, the more the roots go up, down, and the tree becomes strong. This Swami was born in, Swami Madhavananda was born in 1888, died in 1965. And I had an opportunity to serve him one night. I still remember. In the corner of the room there is a table light. I used to reading Gospel of Ramakrishna. And Swami was in bed sleeping. If he wanted to go to the bathroom, he needed help. Amazing. Great Swami. A woman, she later became a nun, came to the Swami. Swami knew her, and she would be a top position of the Sharda convent. And she gave an examination before joining and came to Swami for blessing. Well, I gave the examination as you wanted me, but I do not know whether I will succeed or fail, I do not know. Swami said, yesterday I read it penetrated in my mind. You work hard, you made your effort, you gave your examination, that is up to you. Result will come from God. Then that woman said, well, Maharaj, I made my best, and now I have to depend on God. The word he used, I will have to accept what God does. What is the consequences? I will have to accept. Do you know what does it mean? He was telling, no, you did not say the right. I have to accept. You will be forced to accept. No, that is not the way to understand God's will. Do you know how to understand? He used 3 words. ভগবানের ইচ্ছা শান্তভাবে প্রসন্ন মনে আনন্দের সঙ্গে গ্রহণ করতে হবে. God's will, you will have to accept in 3 adjectives he pushed. Calmly, shanto bhabe. Then, prasanna mone, mane complacent mind, without grudge. Complacent mind. And third, joyfully. 3 words he used. If you can, whatever result comes, accept. But you must maintain the equanimity of the mind. Calmly, with a complacent mind, and joyfully. That is called real resignation to God. We complain. That 3 words came to penetrate into my mind. Shanto bhabe, prasanna mone, anonder sange, with joy, bliss, accept. But you must make your effort. Wholeheartedly, you must make your effort. It is extremely important to be sincere. Then he says about that woman was practicing austerity in Benares. And Swami, I have some physical problem, that is the reason I cannot meditate. Swami says, that is normal, natural thing. No human body is perfect. Some problem will be there. You are not sick all the time. 24 hours you are not sick. Maybe 1 hour, 2 hours you have some pain. Other times you are okay. See your life in this way. When somebody was cursing God, Rabia said, why are you cursing God? Well, I have headache. How old are you? 50 years old. Did you get headache all 50 years? No. So just now, momentarily you have a headache, you are now cursing God. But all this time you did not thank God, last 50 years. Only a little headache has come and you are cursing God. 50 years you did not thank God. I'm just telling you that how these people take life. And then he said, he says, Ashahi paramam dukkham nirashami paramam sukham. There is a verse in the scripture. Hope is the cause of misery. Hopelessness is the cause of happiness. Do not hope. Then he says, that should not be the attitude that you are practicing. Do you know, we are neither optimist nor pessimist. We are Vedantist. He made a beautiful remark. We are neither optimist nor pessimist. We are Vedantist. Hold on the Master and their ideal. Never yield to depression. Tornado comes and goes. The tornado does not blow all the time. Beautiful way, how they talk about life. Anyhow, that was my introduction. Let us go in the book. Belur Math, Thursday, 31st January 1963. 31st January 1963. The sun is covered by the cloud. The little children tell their mother, today the sun did not rise. Similarly, so many worldly things covered our minds, and this ignorance, just like a cloud, covers our mind. That is the reason we do not see God. The children do not see the sun. I have seen many times when I come to St. Louis, above the cloud, bright sun. Perhaps you have seen, then when they take entrance to the airport runway, they go slowly, they go through the thick cloud. Then we come down to the runway, and we see again everything clear. Though overcast, no rain. We experience these things quite often, which I saw many times. That is the way think about God. Swami Turiyananda once made a remark about his life experience. It was in Boranagar March in 1880s, 86, 87, 88. He was passing through depression. So at midnight he was pacing on the roof of the monastery. He was miserable. All of a sudden he saw whole place was dark. All of a sudden the wind began to blow and the clouds are blown away. It was a full moon night. And he saw that moonlight everywhere. That became a revelation to him. He said, my goodness, I saw darkness, now I see bright light. So my problem, the clouds just are blown away. So my problem, it is momentary, it will go away. It is not a permanent thing. That is the way we shall have to take about life. Never yield to depression. Wait. As Swamiji says, never give up hope. You will see the light. We cannot see God. That is the common complaint. Krishna mentioned in the Gita, Dadamite dibbam chokshu, I shall give you the divine sight. Then you will see God. Our eyes are not yet trained. I remember once I went to see Palomar Observatory near San Diego. Then Leak Observatory in the Northern California, in the desert. Palomar Observatory, they have a 200 feet diameter, 200 inches, not feet, 200 inches diameter the telescope. We can see various kinds of planets, stars, which we cannot see with our ordinary eyes. When you go to a doctor's office, they will check your blood. Through the microscope, they see the condition of the blood, these, that. Many things we cannot see with our open eyes. Through microscope, through telescope, we see. Similarly, if we want to see God, we need different kinds of eyes. These mortal eyes will not help. That is the reason Swamiji says, Lavai, Premier Chokku. When love develops, eyes also becomes its shape, becomes the color of the beloved. When Chaitanya was crossing the Ganges, he saw Ganges water like dark water of Jamuna. It is a magic water. Magic water, Ganges water. Jamuna water is very clean. Because Krishna, the Krishna color has gone to the... He cannot see what you see white, and Maji, he sees is black. That is called Premer Chokku, Labai. That develops. How does it develop? Through love. How does it get love? Through constant remembrance, recollectedness. The person you love, you all the time you correct. You think of that person. You carry that person in your heart. Sri Ramakrishna gave another illustration. You do not see stars at daytime, that does not mean stars do not exist. At night time stars exist. We see the stars. সংসারের খেলা যাতে চলে তাই তিনি সকলকে করে বুঝিয়ে দেন না। Swami continued, this world we will have to live in. If you gave that knowledge of Brahman, you cannot play anymore. You will not be able to function. You need disciples to take care of you. As Sri Ramakrishna says, if a woman is pregnant, advanced pregnancy, she cannot move. When she gives birth to a baby, she cannot work. That is called real pregnancy, spiritual pregnancy. And at that time you cannot function. Do you know why? Because you have no desire. The moment if you have desire, then you move. I want to buy something, then I move to the shopping mall. If you have no desire, your body will not move. It's she tar khala lila. This is his divine play. The biggest play of God is the avatar's play. God himself takes a human form and plays, like Sri Ramakrishna. He is the God in this age. By his mere wish, great souls are born. You read quite a bit about Kathamrita, but here Sri Ramakrishna only talked a little bit devotion. We do not get the full picture of Ramakrishna in the Kathamrita, in the Gospel. Partial. You have to understand, the Gospel has 177 entries. M recorded 177 days in the Gospel. That you find there. The other days, what he says, they are not recorded. How he trained his disciples are not recorded. Later on, some disciples told their reminiscences, which I tried to collect in the series, in the Udbodhan. All the Chari disciples' reminiscences I collected. In their disciples, sometime, time to time, they talked about how Master trained them. When he trained his disciples, he closed the door and talked about renunciation and purity. The moment M came, he started to talk about devotion, how to love God. You see, that is the beauty of Sri Ramakrishna. He trained according to the person. If I give you the teachings of Manjukya Upanishad, Ajatabhada, you are not born. It will not work. I see you are born. We had a friend. He used to practice Manjukya Upanishad. We used to call it Dada Gaurupad. One day his mother came to see him. So my friend told him, go tell that woman, your mother, who are you, woman? Because you said that you are not born. Go tell your mother. Who are you, woman? We used to tease him. He was a follower of Ajatavada. I am not born. I am the Atman. Funny. Baba Swami Premananda said that Sri Ramakrishna used to close door when he taught us. Those things are not recorded. There is a tremendous power in Sri Ramakrishna's words. Purle uddipan hai. If you read, you will get inspiration and you will feel strength within. তিনি বলেছেন তীর্থদর্শন ব্রতপাল. You know, some people go for pilgrimage, practice some vows and observe some kind of rituals. You see, they are all right. We go to the temple carrying some fruits and some incense and we do some rituals in the temple. That is all right. But main thing is to how to love Him, how to love God. We have love. We are not a dearth of love. We have plenty of love. But do you know problem? Our loves are scattered in the world, in the family, in the money, in the home. Love is scattered. For the reason Sri Ramakrishna used to tell some people, Haga, ek ekটু মনে রেখো. Please think of me a little bit. Haga, ek ekটু মনে রেখো. Don't give the whole love to the world. Then you will be bound. You will never be free. Shakti. Sri Ramakrishna's কথার শক্তি, power. It happened, Swami Vivekananda returned from America, so his classmate came to see him. So Swamiji said, you know, master words are very powerful. One can write volumes of philosophy, books, based on one word of Sri Ramakrishna. His French classmate says, I don't feel that way. We also heard Sri Ramakrishna. You know, his teachings are so simple, so understandable. You don't need any commentary also. Swamiji says, do you think so? Tell me one teaching of Sri Ramakrishna, and I shall explain to you. All right? Sri Ramakrishna says, the teaching upon Mahut Narayan, Hati Narayan. Elephant is also God. The driver of the elephant is also God. Everything is God. That's Sri Ramakrishna said. Sri Ramakrishna says, everything is God. Then the story says, then the disciples went out, got the lesson from the Guru, and they found a mad elephant was coming toward them. And the Mahut, the driver, was shouting, get away, get away, get away. A mad elephant, get away. So some ran away, but one did not run away. He stood on the street. And Mahut, that elephant, grabbed that man with his trunk and thrust outside, and that person, that disciple, was broken head and unconscious, fell down. Then the other monks picked up that wounded monk to the Guru. When he got back his consciousness, the wounded monk said, Sir, you are my Guru. You taught me that everybody is God. The elephant was God. I was thinking that is the reason I did not run away. The Guru said, that is perfect answer you gave. But the Mahut, the driver, is also God. The driver God told you, get away. You did not listen to him. The driver is also God. That is the story. Do you know what Swamiji did? Swamiji gave lectures 3 days on that topic. He says in the Western world, still they are fighting about free will and fatalism. Shadin Ichha, Adrishtobad. Fatal. Means everything is destined, predestined. So, self-will and predestined, still they could not come to a conclusion. Our Indian philosophical ideas look self-effort and divine grace. Still we are fighting against this word. Self-effort. Self-effort and divine grace. Which is right? Just think of that. Self-effort. I sometimes, one Swami, Swami Vishuddhananda just said that. Self-effort is one blade of a scissors, and divine grace is another blade of a scissors. And then you can cut the cloth. Both are necessary. If you say everything is divine grace, I will not to do anything, it will not work. Do you know why? As long as you have ego, you will have to move. There is no other way. Ego. If you have 100% egoless, bas, God will take care of you. But none of us, 100% egoless, we have egos. Then Swamiji, after 3 days, says, more I can explain to you based on Sri Ramakrishna's words. Very powerful. Swami Vishuddhananda says, I read Gospel of Ramakrishna 50 times. And every time I read, I see new light. Sri Ramakrishna's words are very, very powerful. Apparently you may say very simple, oh, I understand. It's very deep. Do you know why? Because they are coming from Anubhuti, from his realization. His words are experimented truth. He never says anything which he did not practice thrice. If you follow his words, that means you will not walk in darkness. He is not a quack doctor. He knows these words will work. It is a medicine. A good doctor says this medicine will work because it is experimented and verified. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna. Experimented and verified. Mother never spoke any untruth through my lips, Sri Ramakrishna said. When you read the Gospel, always remember, every word is true. His mouth, his speech and mind became united. That he says, what is religion? Monmukh akkorai dharma. Simple word. What is religion? Unite your mind and your speech. Shh, very difficult. We are repeating mantra in the shrine, mind is somewhere else. Mind and speech must be united. When you repeat the mantra, you just focus on your chosen deity. আর বলছেন আন্তরিকতার কথা, আন্তরিকতা না হলে কিছুই হবে না। Sincerity. Without sincerity, you will not achieve anything. Another thing he emphatically said, in the eyes of God, everybody is equal. The moon, Uncle Moon is the uncle of everybody. তাকে ডাকলে পাওয়া যায়, কত বড় আশার কথা। If you call on God, you will see Him. It is a gospel of hope. It is a gospel of hope. God does not belong to you or me. He belongs to all. Poor, rich, sick, healthy, sinner, pious, God belongs to all. The sun shines on all people equally. The sun says, hey, you are a sinner, I shall not give light to you. You are a good person, I shall give light to you. Sun cannot discriminate. So God cannot discriminate. All are my children. All came from me. Beautiful. Balloon Mott, Sunday, 3rd February 1963. দাঁড় টেনে যেতে হবে কষ্ট করে, যতক্ষণ না পালে হাওয়া লাগে। You will have to row the boat until you get the wind in the sail. You will have to unfurl the sail. কৃপা বাতাস উঠলে পা তুললেই হলো। When the grace, the wind of grace is always blowing, here is self-effort. You will have to unfurl the sail. Then you will not have to row the boat. The wind will take you to the destination. The grace of God will take you to destination. What a beautiful imagery. Just think of that. We are born and brought up in a village. From our village to town, 4 miles, we had to go through that river by boat. The boatman, if it is a favorable current, Juar, ebb and tide. It is a favorable current, the boatman will not unfurl the sail. He just hold the helm and the boat will go by the current, good current. Very quickly, within an hour, we go 4-5 miles by boat. But if there is an against current, then it is hard for him to row, very difficult. At that time, he unfurls the sail and catches the wind, and then he goes against the current, only touching the row, the helm. That he is talking about. That grace of wind, the grace of the God's wind is always blowing. You will have to unfurl the sail. That's self-effort. খানদানি ভক্ত সে কিছুতেই ছাড়ে না, বৃষ্টি বাদলা হোক বা না হোক, যে খানদানি চাষা সে নিত্য হাল নিয়ে মাঝে যাবেই। The hereditary farmer, he will go. If it is a drought or rain, it does not mind. He will go to the field and he will till the ground and sow the seed. Because they are hereditary, that is their profession. They cannot just stop it. That he is talking about. In spiritual life, same thing. You will have to be a farmer, hereditary farmer. You like it or don't like it, you must sit in the shine, morning and evening. You do not know when that grace will dawn on you. It will come. Sincerity is the only thing needful. Hunger for God, longing for God. Then the sun, you will see the light. আমাদেরও তেমনি, তার দয়া কিছুই বুঝতে পারি না, পারি বা না পারি, নিত্য তাকে জেগে যেতে হবে। Our condition is the same. Whether he comes or not, we shall have to call him daily. May we never forget him. This forgetfulness, now the Christian people are trying to interpret sin is the forgetfulness of God is the sin. That is the way nowadays we call it ignorance in Vedantic terminology, agyan. Now Christian people think when we do not think of God, that is a sin. It's a new interpretation of sin. জপ করলেই তাকে চেনে আনা যায় না, মন্ত্র বশীভূত সাপের মতো, তার প্রতি ভালোবাসাই আসল। ভালোবাসা না এলে তার কাছেই বলতে হবে, তুমি আমাদের একটু কাছে আর একটু ভালোবাসা দাও। Some snake charmers, they repeat the mantra and then the snake comes out from the hole and at that time they catch the snake. Or they play some kind of music, then the snake will come and then they catch him. But God is not like that, that He will repeat the mantra and He will run toward you like a snake. Our main thing is this, to love Him. If you do not get that love, pray, Lord, give me love and devotion for you. Yesterday I was reading our Indian newspaper. Do you know what? They are now counting how many Royal Bengal tigers in Sundarban, in the near the Bay of Bengal, the southern side of West Bengal. Do you know how they are trying to tempt the tigers? They set cameras on different locations, very powerful camera, and they are trying. They are bringing raw money, rotten meat, and some breaking that rotten meat and put some eggs there, broken eggs. In this way, but a terrible odor. But that is our what's called treat for the tigers. When tigers smell it, the tigers will come, and our cameras will take the pictures. So at that time, we'll be able to count how many tigers we have in the Sundarban. I was reading how to entice the tigers. So how to entice God, that I was thinking. How to entice God? Love, love, love. That is the way. Look at read the life of the Mirabai, Tulsidas, all the mystics. God ran toward them. Radha, Chaitanya, God ran towards them. Ramakrishna, God is running toward them. Why they know how to tempt God. He is not under temptation, but he says, Aham paradhino. I have no independence. My devotees bought me by love. I am helpless. And a story came to my mind. Swamiji was traveling, and Hathras station master, Gupta, Sharat Chandra Gupta, Swami Sadananda later, followed Swamiji. He gave up his job and became his disciple. Then Swamiji was thinking, this fellow is a botheration for me. I have a disciple, I don't want disciple. I want to be alone. I want to make my journey alone. I want to get rid of this person. So he told Gupta Maharaj, hey Gupta, cook some food. He cooked food. And Swamiji left. And this disciple cooked food and waiting for Swamiji. Swamiji did not come back. Then in the evening, he left many miles. Then again Swamiji came back. Shh. This fellow depended on me, renounced everything for me. How can I desert him? How can I give up him? He is very simple. It bothered Swamiji. Again he came back, I think 15, 20, 30 miles. Again he returned. Hey Gupta, did you eat? No, sir. You asked me to cook, I cooked. The food is here, I did not eat. Swamiji ate. Gupta, let me tell you, I have a mission in my life. I'll have to go alone. You go to Baranagar monastery or monastery in Calcutta and join there. Don't travel with me anymore. Bas, Swamiji left. You know how can love can pull a person. Sometimes I read those stories and I can feel it. The power of love. মা কাউকে কাউকে বলতেন তোমাদের বয়সে আমি কত জব করেছি, আবার কাউকে বলেছেন তোমাদের বেশি কিছু করতে হবে না, কিছু না করলে কি কিছু পাওয়া যায়? Holy Mother said to some of his disciples, during your age I practiced thousands and thousands of japam. She told some disciples. And some disciples she said, no, you don't have to do anything. You are living with me, that's enough. Enjoy Rambachi, just live with me. That is enough for you. That is the grace. And here, this person is not yet ready, so inspiring him, go, do more. You know how the great teachers teach according to the Odhikari, recipient, person. That is the beauty of Vedanta. You see, in Christianity, they have a common prayer. We do not have that kind of common prayer. Guru instructs differently. মনে রাখতে হবে ভগবানের শক্তিতেই আমরা যা কিছু করতে পারি. It is by God's grace. He helps us to take us to our shrines, to practice these things. It is God's grace. The eggplant and potato jump in the cooking pot because of the fire. Turn off the flame, all vegetables will collapse in the cooking pot. So all of our movements and this and that, it is all God's grace. God's grace. And so my teacher used to say, many are called, but few are chosen. Blessed you are that you got a chance to serve Sri Ramakrishna, this place. তার ভালোবাসার কি তুলনা হয়? সংসারের কোনো কিছুর সঙ্গে মেলে না। অন্য কিছু মাপকাঠি নেই বলেই একটা তুলনা দিয়ে বলতে হয়। বিশ্বাস আন্তরিকতা থাকলে ভগবানের আসন চলে উঠবে। God's love is incomparable, infinite. We cannot fathom God's love. You see, man's love for God has been recorded. But God's love for man has not been recorded. Why? Because God did not write the book. Human beings wrote the book. So they wrote Mira's love for God, Tulsidas' love for God, this person's love for God, all the mystics' love for God, St. Francis of Assisi's love for God, all the Mary, St. Teresa's love for God has been recorded. They recorded themselves. Some wrote their own autobiography. St. Teresa wrote her own autobiography. She described her love for God. That has a man's love for God has been recorded. But God's love for man has been recorded. Who will record? Man cannot record. You cannot record my love. I cannot record your love. There you is talking. সংসারের কোনো কিছুর সঙ্গে মেলে না। His love is incomparable in the worldly standpoint. অন্য কিছু মাপকাঠি নেই বলে একটা, there is no standard to measure God's love. So just we give some example, that's all. বিশ্বাস আন্তরিকতা থাকলে ভগবানের আসন চলে আসবে। If you have faith and sincerity, then God's throne will move. And He will respond. That He is talking about. Faith and sincerity. Bas, up to this. Masatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya, avirabirma yedhi, rudrajatte dakshinammukham, tenamam pahi nityam, om shanti shanti shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Light us through and through, and guide us evermore with thy loving presence. Peace, peace, peace be untold.